They obviously perform a vital service.
Good to have them. I think they're usually there. I really don't have any complaints about them.
Safe. Believe it or not, very safe.
Makes you feel more secure.
If there's a problem at the branch, we get help.
Very courteous.
They do a tremendous job.
It's always a good feeling to get home to Ontario, no question about that.
Community support for the OPP. One of the reasons for its being a great police force. And it is something the force has been earning since its very beginning in 1909. The 45 men of the young force had their work cut out for them. Stationed at points along the border and in the raw mining towns of the north, they were the law. Taming a Saturday night, roaring with hard rock miners out on the town, supervising the conduct of circuses, and investigating all serious crime were just some of their varied duties. As the times and the needs of the community changed, so too did the OPP. The 1920s saw the force grow in ways that strengthened its effectiveness. Police detachments were established in many communities. Marine equipment and aircraft were used in police work for the first time. And in 1929, the first OPP training school was opened. By the 30s, the need for proper policing of the province's highways was satisfied by the transfer of motorcycle personnel from the Department of Public Highways to the OPP, and making it responsible for enforcing the Highway Traffic Act. To enable the force to keep pace with the tempo of life during and immediately following the Second World War, marked patrol cars were introduced. Boats were used to police lakes and resort areas. And the largest, most modern police communication system in the world was brought into operation. The force continued to evolve all during the boom years of the 50s, the go-go 60s, and the uncertain 70s. The changes were many, but throughout, this Crown force remained true to its founding principles. Today's OPP, professionals from the Commissioner on down. Nearly 200 detachments grouped into 16 districts, more than 5,000 uniformed and civilian personnel, responsible for nearly 1 million square kilometers. From the air, on the ground, along the highways and waterways, serving the needs of the province.
OPP News Bureau, Brian Goodman.
Police work experts who've got the skills to do the job. Up-to-the-minute equipment, progressive ideas, specialized training.
Good afternoon, OPP Community Services. Corporal Morrison, just one moment, please.
Community respect. Just a few of the things which distinguish the Ontario Provincial Police Force. Chief Superintendent Bill Gord comments on another distinguishing feature of the OPP.
The organization, insofar as special services is concerned, is broken into 5 major branches. The Criminal Investigation Branch, which is often referred to in the press as an elite organization, is made up of 24 seasoned investigators whose responsibility is the investigation of homicides, bank robberies, and other major crimes throughout the province upon request of either our field detachments or municipal police departments. These officers are all experienced officers who have undergone considerable training, not only in homicide investigations and other related matters, but also in the area of gambling, alcohol-related offenses, drug offenses, and in the intelligence branch, who deal with such things as organized crime. We even go so far as engaging the world's first blind constable. The people within the division are derived from members of our field division and headquarters divisions who demonstrate a flair for being able to deal with the extraordinary.
The extraordinary is encountered as well by the men and women of forensic identification services. Uncovering the hidden, verifying the facts, using the tools of the space age, such as this laser. Forensic personnel team with officers from special services, traffic, and field divisions to bring to light the evidence so vital to many OPP investigations. Solving crime is important to the OPP. Preventing it is even more so. Approaches to crime prevention and public safety are many. Here in Amherst View, a quiet community dotted along the shore of Lake Ontario just outside Kingston, one approach is on view. Storefront policing. Friendly, familiar, and neighborly are the key words here.
See you later here, George. I have another talk to give.
Corporal George Lariatogas, detachment commander, explains.
We do community policing here. The people see them on a day-to-day basis. They become aware that we are part of this community. We live here, we work here. The problems of the community are our problem because we are citizens of this area. The officers are out doing foot patrols, walk back and forth to work. The exposure we receive on a day-to-day basis makes the people aware that we are around and we fit into the community idea. The location of our detachment makes us readily accessible. People come down to the plaza to do some shopping. If they want to come in and have a discussion about a problem they have, or just to talk to us.
We'll check the house periodically.
It makes it much easier to do our policing. The people here feel that the policeman is here to help them and to serve them. And the officers, due to the fact they live here, feel that they are protecting their own community.
Supper's coming on.
The OPP, good neighbors in and out of uniform. Community policing. It makes all the difference at home, in the schools, and on the streets. Innovative policing is not confined to one corner of the province either. Sioux Lookout. The rugged area to the north includes many a community with policing needs as challenging as the land. And how has the OPP responded? With characteristic effectiveness. Here with some of the details is Staff Sergeant Larry Moore.
My work up in the northern part of the province commenced back in 1957, and I asked for a northern posting at that time, and the commissioner sent me to 17 District Kenora when I commenced there in 1957. I went on to Red Lake and spent 7 years in Red Lake. I saw the need for, at least what I thought was a need for, more extensive policing of the reserves north of Red Lake, and in 1974 our senior force people put together the Northwest Patrol Unit, and I was one of the original members of the unit.
Today, Staff Sergeant Moore is commander of the OPP's Northwest Patrol and one of the 2 pilots of Oscar Echo Zulu, their indispensable Turbo Beaver.
Currently there are 9 of us with the patrol. We conduct a regular patrol to 22 communities in the north.
Over 8,000 people live in the policed communities. This one at Wiagamau Lake is typical. 200 kilometers north of the patrol's Sioux Lookout base. Everything and everybody must be flown in, weather permitting.
The constables travel from community to community. They're taken out and left for several days at a time. When they leave, they go complete with their sleeping bag and their grocery box. They go in and stay at either our facilities there or whatever facility is available. Another part of the work of our members is selecting and training special constables. These are native constables, and our people, when they go in, work with them for the purpose of coaching and upgrading their ability to police their own community.
OPP Constable Jim Franks comments on this highly successful program.
Since the program started, they've recruited them from their own reserves to police their own reserve. They're working out quite well. It takes a load off of the regular OPP members that do come into the reserves. I find that they're very well informed. They know the people, they know the reserve, they know what the problems are, and they can best handle it. So the special constables that are on the reserve is more like a constable on the beat. He's in his own environment. A lot of the reserves and communities that we visit, 22 in all, quite a number of them can get along without police supervision. They live the old ways. Of course, there are a few reserves that we do have problems with.
It's police work with a difference and a definite appeal.
One of the reasons I like to come back to the North is I'm not much of a city person. I like the freedom of the North, being outside, nature. When you're working alone without supervision. You're up in the bush a lot. You spend maybe 1 day to 10 days out in the bush. A lot of times we work at cabins. There's no hydro, no running water. You just kind of rough it. It's good. It's back to nature.
The North and its people. Meeting their needs is a challenge that has its own reward.
We are involved in a very broad field of police work in the northern communities. I can't help but think that it is certainly a great service to the people in the North, and it's for my part a great satisfaction being able to provide that service.
Where else in the province can the OPP be counted on to be present? Well, if it's summertime, cottage country, and on the water, number them among the many boats you'll see. The importance of their presence has long been appreciated. Provincial Constable Tony Mecking.
The last 13 years I've been in the Gananoque area, and I've been with the Marines now for about 8 years, and I'd say it's the better part of it. It's enjoyable. The work's good. It varies from day to day because you get to meet all these different people from different parts of the United States and Canada. They like to see us out there to show that we do patrol the waterways, and as well as patrolling the roads.
Many of Ontario's waterways are host to growing numbers of out-of-province visitors and year-round residents. Sometimes not everyone stays on the safe side of taking a chance.
We're there mainly to see that people are carrying their proper safety equipment, and if they run into problems, they can call on us, and that's why we're there.
One would think that a seasonal community would be plagued with the problem of people not wanting to become involved. But not so.
Like today, we had a complaint of damage in the boat. We talked to the neighbors to see if they noticed anything out of the ordinary, and they're extremely helpful.
The knowledgeable follow-through policing provided by the OPP is clearly valued.
How are you today?
Good.
Any more problems?
No, not at all, thanks.
Good. How long are you going to be here for the summer?
Well, going back tomorrow. We'll be up all fall.
Okay, you're leaving in when, October?
Well, I'll be here about the middle of December.
Okay, well, we'll check it for you after that.
Thank you
anyway.
very much.
Okay, we'll see you, eh? Take care.
Constable Tony Mecking, a family man with a community commitment.
Hi, guys.
I'm very proud of Tony, you know, the fact that he is a policeman. And I used to worry about him a lot. I don't as much now, because I've gotten used to the fact that he has to go to work wearing a gun, which I hope he never has to use, type thing. He's just like any other job now, really.
The Marine Patrol of the OPP, skilled police professionals who call cottage country home. Visitors welcome. Keeping Ontario's highways safe and on the go is another big job expertly handled by the best in the business. Traffic Division, OPP. For the behind-the-scenes story, Inspector Don Dowser.
Our division analyzes traffic accidents. We run in the neighborhood of 75,000 accidents a year in OPP policed areas, and approximately run between 900 and 1,000 fatalities. When you consider that these 900 plus people are killed every year through violations of the traffic laws, it is an awesome responsibility to try to reduce this amount of death and injury. Our major traffic detachment is Downsview, which polices the 401 bypass. It carries average annual daily traffic of 240,000 cars and summer daily traffic of 300,000 cars. In this particular area of the Queen Elizabeth Way, we have meters on the beginning of all your ramps. Once the flow of traffic on your road gets below 60 kilometers per hour, it blocks off entrance to most of these ramps and thereby controls the flow of traffic. Our purpose is to keep it traveling at least 60 kilometers per hour. The object is to move more traffic over the existing highways rather than building more lanes and more expressways.
To meet this objective, the force is using more and more sophisticated technology than ever before.
The television monitoring of the highways is an aid insofar as a person sitting in the dispatcher's office has witnessed accidents happen and can immediately dispatch a car to the scene and get the traffic moving rather than wait 10 or 15 minutes in many cases for the accident to be reported.
5106 Port
Effective as the new technologies are, there's still a place for more familiar control methods.
We use radar as a means of controlling speed. The closer we can keep the traffic moving to the speed limit, the more lives we feel that we will save.
First vehicle to you, the red Honda, lane number
The speed itself is the main deciding factor when an accident occurs. It's the multifaceted aspect of enforcement that provides, we find, the greatest deterrent.
And every highway user benefits. OPP expertise, ready where required, when required.
Tactics and Rescue Unit is a unit which was formed to act as a supportive unit to the regular members of the force.
True Team Coordinator, Staff Sergeant Max Michuk.
Members on the tactical team are volunteers, and we don't dwell too much on how old the person is. If he's able to do the things required of him, we accept him as a member of the Tactics and Rescue Unit. As I had said, the unit was formed in 1975, and as a supportive unit to the regular members of the force, and we do not expect that these members devote their entire time to the Tactics and Rescue Unit. They are regular police officers doing regular police-type work, whether it be general duties or traffic. But when required, they must have the ability and the training to respond to hazardous-type situations or hazardous rescue operations. They have to be volunteers, and the process usually eliminates about 20% of the applicants. During the rigorous training, another approximately 10% are eliminated, usually by their own accord. They feel in their own mind that they are unable to give as much as is asked and required for the unit. Members are taught that when they are responding to an occurrence, if anyone is hurt during the occurrence or in an effort to resolve the occurrence, then from a tactical point of view, the occurrence is a failure. We do not want the macho type. You have to work as a team. You have to also work as an individual. This is a very difficult thing to teach people, to work both as a team and as an individual. Barricaded people, riot control, crowd control, difficult rescue operations. Those are the type of occurrences that we may be called upon to respond. And we do have the equipment necessary to bring those occurrences to a successful conclusion, and hopefully we have the training and the ability to do so.
The OPP has always been committed to maximizing its members' abilities through careful career preparation and in-service training. The Training Center complex in Brampton underlines this fact.
I can very quickly eliminate anyone from the class if you will tell me honestly that you have no plans whatsoever of any kind that you're looking forward to. Is there anyone like that? Obviously.
What does it mean to be a member of the force?
We are all members of the Ontario Provincial Police. We live in this community, we work here, we play here, and we're raising our families here.
I would think it's always been community policing. I think we've always, the community has known that we're there to do a service for them.
We have actually less fatalities occurring in areas that we police now than we did have 5 years ago, despite the increase in traffic flows and licensed drivers.
And the mere fact that the tactical team members have arrived on the scene, this has brought several occurrences to a conclusion without any violence.
So it's a real handful, and I think that certainly the type of officer that is assigned to the unit has to be a very special person.
The OPP, meeting the needs of the community with nothing less than dedicated professional excellence. Helping keep Ontario a good place to come home to since 1909.